Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Preview US Open ATP and WTA Day 5. Coco Gauff faces Olympic silver medalist Jannik Sinner and IGA Swiatek also set to play. Swiatek, fresh off a dominant first-round performance, looks to continue her relentless march at the US Open. Her heavy topspin forehand and tactical acumen making her a constant threat. Sinner, having impressed on the Australian hard courts, combines clean ball striking with an improved serve, and will be aiming to assert authority in the early rounds to avoid any scare. Each of these players brings a story into the second round. Rising stars battling for recognition, champions returning to form, and home favorites hoping to carry the crowd's energy forward for a thrilling Thursday. Swiatek and Sinner lead center court action. Arthur Ashe Stadium opens with world number 2 IGA Swiatek facing current Dutch number 1 Susan Leemans at 11:30 a.m. local time. Swiatek, a former US Open champion, has started the tournament strongly, blending aggressive baseline play with tactical intelligence, proceeding past Emiliana Arango 6-1, 6-2. Experience and form clearly favor Swiatek, but in early rounds, the energy of the underdog can often spark memorable moments. Later in the afternoon, men's top seed Jannik Sinner takes on Australia's Alexei Popyrin at 12:40 p.m. local. Sinner, a Wimbledon champion, has shown an impressive combination of power and composure on hard courts. Popyrin, with his booming serve and flat ground strokes, poses a threat if he can dictate play like he did the one time they played in 2021, where the Australian beat him 7-6, 6-2. Still, Sinner's consistency and court coverage make him the favorite to progress. The evening session on Ashe features American star Coco Gauff against Croatian Donna Vekic at 7 p.m. local. Gauff, still only 21, has grown into one of the sport's brightest young talents. Her athleticism and court awareness have already produced standout moments in New York, battling past Ajla Tomljanovic 6-4, 6-7-2, 7-5. Vekic, a former top 20 player and Olympic silver medalist, will test Gauff's ability to handle aggressive, flat-hitting opponents. Fans can expect long rallies and a high-octane match under the lights. Closing the Ashe schedule is homegrown Tommy Paul, seeded 14th, who faces Portugal's Nuno Borges at 8:10 p.m. local. Paul, a semi-regular contender in the second week of majors, will look to assert control with his precise baseline game. Borges, enjoying a solid season, will be eager to take a seated scalp and make a statement on the big stage after already dispatching a fellow American Brandon Holt 6-4, 6-2, 6-3 in the first round. Armstrong features Osaka, Zverev, Musetti, and Anisimova. Looking at the Louis Armstrong Stadium, play begins with a compelling men's clash as Lorenzo Musetti, the 10th seed from Italy, faces veteran Belgian David Goffin at 11 a.m. local. Musetti has faced injury struggles ever since his French Open semifinal retirement early in June. Meanwhile, Goffin brings experience and consistency, capable of exploiting any lapses in rhythm, making this is a classic battle of flair versus steadiness, and the winner could gain serious momentum heading into the second week. Next up, the women's action features Naomi Osaka, seeded 23rd, taking on American Hailey Baptiste. Osaka, continuing her comeback, relies on her trademark power and aggressive baseline game, while Baptiste, a rising 23-year-old, will lean on home support and fearless shot-making. The crowd will likely play a big role in this encounter, and if Baptiste can unsettle Osaka early, there could be a competitive battle on the hands of both players. The evening session sees a high-profile men's matchup as third-seed Alexander Zverev faces British Jacob Fearnley at 7 p.m. local. Zverev, a former US Open finalist, has the firepower to dominate but must manage any lapses in concentration, while the fearless Fearnley will look to turn the lights of New York into an opportunity for a career-defining upset. Closing Armstrong for the night is women's 8th seed Amanda Anisimova against Australian Maya Joint at 8:40 p.m. local. Anisimova, coming off solid performances in previous majors, like the Wimbledon final, will look to impose her aggressive baseline game, while Joint, the 2025 Eastbourne champion and a young up-and-comer, has the chance to make a mark against an established opponent under the stadium lights. Other matches to look forward to. Day 5 also offers plenty of action away from the main stadiums, with early round matchups on Grandstand, Stadium 17, and the outer courts providing opportunities for surprises and breakout performances. For example, on Grandstand, American wildcard Tristan Boyer takes on 15th seed Andrei Rublev at 11 a.m. local. Boyer has nothing to lose and will aim to bring energy and aggression, while Rublev, a former top 10 player, seeks a straightforward path through the early rounds. Later, Romanian Sorana Cersti faces Czech Karolina Machova at 12:40 p.m., a matchup between two crafty, versatile players capable of producing thrilling rallies, with the latter looking to back up her strong victory over Venus Williams. Speaking of the 45-year-old, she is set to play doubles with Leylah Fernandez as they face the number 6 seeds Lyudmila Kichenok and Dylan Perez, pairing experience and youth against a well-drilled seeded duo. Fernandez's Canadian comrade, Felix Auger-Aliassime, meets Roman Safiullin at 3 p.m. on Court 5, which may be a tough one with the Russian taking out Gael Monfils in his previous encounter. Another storyline to keep an eye on is Coleman Wong, who plays Adam Walton on Court 10, to see if he can continue being the pride of Hong Kong and become the first player from his country to win consecutive Grand Slam main draw matches. Across the grounds, Day 5 promises to deliver the full spectrum of Grand Slam tennis: power, finesse, tactical battles, and the ever-present chance of upsets. Fans can expect thrilling rallies, standout performances from rising stars, and established players seeking to assert control as the tournament builds toward the second week. U.S. Open Day 5 Preview. Gauff meets Olympic silver medalist, Sinner and Swiatek set to shine, as the electric New York skyline begins to glow a little brighter with each passing day of the 2025 U.S. Open. Day 5 promises to deliver a star-studded slate of matchups that could shape the entire tournament. With the tension rising and Arthur Ashe Stadium ready to reverberate once again with thunderous applause and gasps of disbelief, tennis fans around the world turn their attention to 3 headliners: Coco Gauff, Jannik Sinner, and Iga Swiatek. All 3 enter Day 5 not just as contenders, but as flag-bearers of the next generation of tennis. Let's dive into the narratives, tactics, and drama waiting to unfold. Coco Gauff versus Marketa Vondrousova, the bronze versus silver showdown. At just 21, Coco Gauff already carries the weight of expectation, fanfare, and home soil hopes on her shoulders. The reigning 2023 U.S. Open champion has evolved in front of our eyes, from the spirited teen who shocked Venus Williams at Wimbledon to the composed force who now dispatches opponents with champion-like resolve. But standing across the net today is Marketa Vondrousova, a player whose artistry and left-handed craft earned her a silver medal at the Tokyo Olympics and a Wimbledon title in 2023. She's a silent storm on court, low profile, high damage. Her game is a chessboard of slices, drop shots, and wrong footing passes, and she's more than capable of derailing Gauff's rhythm. What to watch? Gauff's forehand under pressure. Though improved, her forehand can still break down against variety. Vondrousova will test this relentlessly. Movement and defense. Both women are elite movers. Expect extended rallies that demand defensive brilliance and mental clarity. The crowd factor. Gauff thrives on Ashe Stadium energy. The roar of the home fans might be the X factor that edges her through tight sets. Prediction. Gauff in 3, but not without sweat, slice-induced frustration, and at least one moment of pure crowd-erupting brilliance. Jannik Sinner, the silent storm marches on. There's something quietly poetic about Jannik Sinner. With his calm demeanor and machine-like baseline game, the Italian has turned silence into a weapon. While others roar, he simply roars with his racket, punishing ground strokes, surgical serving, and foot speed that catches opponents off guard. Fresh off a brilliant summer swing, Sinner is peaking at just the right time. He's not just aiming for a deep run. He's here to win it all. On Day 5, he faces a rising but dangerous player, Sebastian Korda, the lanky American whose shot-making can either amaze or implode. Korda has the tools to make this a long night, but Sinner's consistency could be the steady hammer that breaks his spirit. What to watch? Shot tolerance. Sinner thrives in long rallies. Korda will have to strike early or risk getting drawn into Sinner's trap. Sinner's serve placement. He's added bite and disguise to his serve this year. Korda must anticipate well to stay in return games. Crowd loyalty. Though Korda is the American, Sinner has developed a cult following in New York. Quiet appreciation for a quiet killer. Prediction. Sinner in 4 tight sets. Expect fireworks, but also long stretches of clinical, clean hitting from both ends. IGA Swiatek, the Clay Queen's New York quest. There's a quiet transformation underway in IGA Swiatek's game. Once considered a clay court specialist, she's added layers to her hard court prowess, more aggression on the return, improved serve placement, and a sharper net instinct. The top seed and former world number 1 is a known fighter, and her U.S. Open ambitions are no longer dreams, they're expectations. Today, she faces Leylah Fernandez, the 2021 finalist who shocked the world with her fearless run as a teenager. Fernandez's lefty angles and relentless movement can unnerve even the best, and the Canadian thrives under New York lights. This one has the makings of a classic. What to watch? Swiatek's backhand. The two-hander is a rocket when in rhythm. Fernandez will likely target the forehand instead. Short points versus long rallies. Swiatek may try to keep rallies short to avoid Fernandez's counterpunching strengths. Nerves and momentum. Fernandez feeds off emotion. Swiatek needs to keep the Canadian from generating any crowd-fueled surges. Prediction. Swiatek in 3. It'll be bumpy, maybe even emotional, but IGA's mental steel might just win the day. Other matches to watch on day 5. While the spotlight is on Gauff, Sinner, and Swiatek, the U.S. Open Day 5 undercard is loaded with potential drama. Carlos Alcaraz versus Arthur Fils. A glimpse of the future. Alcaraz, the defending champion, is facing a mirror image in some ways. Fils is powerful, athletic, and fearless. Expect an athletic showcase that could steal the show. Jessica Pegula versus Daria Kasatkina. Tactical warfare incoming. Pegula's solid all-around game will be tested by Kasatkina's spin and trickery. A potential 3-set grinder. Ben Shelton versus Holger Rune. The wildest matchup of the day. Possibly. Two emotional, big-hitting young guns who don't know how to play it safe. Expect fist pumps, chest thumps, and a few broken strings. The bigger picture, the generational shift. Day 5 is more than just a collection of matches. It's a canvas showcasing the full spectrum of where tennis is heading. Gauff, Swiatek, Alcaraz, Sinner. They're no longer next-gen. They're now. Veterans like Vondrousova, Kasatkina, and Korda are clinging to relevance with smart adaptations. The fans, especially the New York faithful, are shifting allegiance from legends to new icons, and it shows in every roar and chant echoing through the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. The New York Magic. There's something unique about tennis in New York. It's loud, it's late, it's relentless. The crowd doesn't just watch, they participate. And no tournament has more 5-set epics, more late-night drama, or more unexpected heroes than the U.S. Open. Day 5 brings all of that potential and more. With high-stakes matches, personal rivalries, and global storylines all colliding under the glare of the lights, we're in for a tennis feast. Final word. As rackets are strung, sneakers laced, and towels folded, Day 5 of the 2025 U.S. Open stands ready. Whether you're tuning in for Coco's home court heroics, Sinner's quiet dominance, or Swiatek's quest for hard-court supremacy, one thing is certain. Tennis doesn't sleep in New York. And today, the city won't blink.